Hey, what's up, guys? Sprout Magani back with some more choices that matter, and the sun went out. And when we last left off, we finally found Vadik. He does know Sharon, and um, yeah, we're going to get him a computer so he can break himself out, so that we can find Sharon, because Sharon only wants to be found when she wants to be. So yeah, let's get right back into it. I stood and motioned to the guard that I was done. 15 minutes later, I was back in the car with Crank. How can I smuggle a computer to a prisoner? I asked as soon as he pulled out his headphones. He smiled. You're asking the professional. Who needs to get it? I showed him the photo of my tablet. His name is Vadik. He's in for hacking, so it won't be easy. That just makes it fun. You want this tablet to get to him? He asked. I thought about it for a second. Yeah, that'll work. Hang on. I added a folder to the home screen and called it Sharon to get his attention. Inside, I put where he could find me. Take it, get it done. I handed the tablet over to Crank. He winked at me and stepped out of the car. I'll be back. I pulled out my phone and called Dolores while I waited. Done fooling around yet? She asked without a greeting. Just getting started, I said dryly. You need Crank back anytime soon? I need you both, she retorted. Dolores, if I can get this done, we'll have a world-class hacker who can help us out, I tried to reason. There was silence on the other end of the line for a few moments. What are you doing? She asked. Nothing you wouldn't do. Dang, I wanted to say nothing you wouldn't do. It's Sharon's lead. I'm getting it done. Just trust me. Why do I feel like I'm going to regret this? She asked, sighing. I've got to go, I muttered, spotting Crank dashing down the stairs. Time to go, he yelled, a joyful look on his face, running around the car. Behind him, sirens started blaring at the prison. I swore, buckling in. Yes! Yes! Craig performed an illegal U-turn and blasted back down the street, ignoring the shouting behind us. He laughed maniacally and I closed my eyes. I preferred Sharon's driving. Whoa! When he finally slowed down, I opened my eyes, surprised to see us back at the estate where Dolores and the jet were. That was quick, I noted, looking around to see if anyone followed us. I'm the best, Crank shrugged. Damn it, Crank. Dolores met us outside the open jet, arms folded. Where's my hacker, she asked. Coming, I said, passing by her to climb into the jet. At least I wouldn't have to worry about getting a hotel room. Are we leaving Montague? Crank asked outside. No, but not by choice, she answered. The jet's been compromised. Wait, what? Dolores, what's going on? Dolores gave me a sour look. Does it matter to you? She asked curtly. You'd rather run after your girlfriend. I retreated back inside the jet. She was still angry, it seemed. Someone messed with the control panel in the cockpit, she told Crank. I can't access the flight codes. Unlock the landing gear. Nothing. What? Someone's trying to keep us from heading back to China, Crank muttered angrily. Any idea why? No, not unless someone in China stole our friend's Modicon and is somehow sabotaging the jet from the air, she added. Ugh, she said. I sighed. Though that would make the team in China the main suspect. At least then I could rule out Sharon. The door to the jet swung shut suddenly with Dolores and Crank still outside. The lights in the cabin were flickering. Puzzled, I walked into the cockpit expecting to see Dagger, but it was empty. What are you doing? Dolores yelled from outside the window, waving to me. It's not me, I yelled back. How do I open the door back up? Emergency hatch next to the door, Dagger yelled, appearing from the garage. I went back to the door and found the right lever, pulling it hard. The lights stopped flickering and the door opened. I hastily ran down the steps as Dagger shoved past me to get inside. What just happened? Dolores demanded. I looked back at the jet, thinking, just how much of the jet's electronics were tampered with? Who got the technical know-how to mess with the jet? I asked. Satin, Crank muttered, looking to Dolores. She knows planes. Satin was the only Aetherite representative who come to Russia. I distinctively remembered her fascination with Modi. A thought suddenly occurred to me. What if the Aetherites in China had Modi, and Satin was here to stop us from going after them? Oh God. Have we heard from Satin and the others? I gotta know. No, Daggard muttered, reappearing from the doorway. We haven't heard from the others in a while, not even Petrus. What the fuck? How could Satin be doing this? I asked, gesturing at the jet, addressing Dagger, who seemed to know the best. I have no idea, she shook her head. She shook her head. Usually for this kind of thing, I'd say the culprit would have to be plugged directly into the controls of the plane, but it's just us here. Strip apart the wiring, Dolores ordered, looking around. If anyone's controlling it remotely, I want to know about it. Dagger and Crank looked at each other warily. That's a big job, Dagger noted. Then do it quickly, Dolores replied, spinning on her heel and walking back to the house. Dinner in 10. Crank swore under his breath, and Dagger elbowed him in the ribs with a warning look. I'll get to work, she muttered. Crank shuffled his feet and followed Dagger, picking up the toolkit. Help Dagger and Crank. Before I could take a step in either direction, a rumbling alerted me to an incoming car at the end of the driveway. Crank immediately appeared beside me, pulling out a gun. Friend of yours? I asked, frowning. I can't see who they are yet, but better be safe than sorry, he muttered. You right. As the car got closer, I caught sight of the driver and I placed a hand on Crank, making him lower the gun. It could be Vadik, it could be Sharon, it could be it could be Petrus, it could be Satin. Dolores also joined us at the car, screeched to it. Ugh! Let me just read that whole thing. Dolores also joined us at the car, screeching to a halt, and the doors opened. Who is it? Good day, mates. Sharon nodded to us all, climbing out of the driver's seat, while, to my surprise, Vadik climbed out of the passengers. Sorry for the run around back there, Sharon said, looking to me, but I had things to get done, you know. I looked at her wrist, but Modi wasn't on either of them. Well, Dolores drawled, you're just in time for dinner. This is Vadik, Sharon introduced, pointing to the muscle-bound man behind her, the best hacker I know. He nodded to me and Crank. Thanks for the tablet. I had some fun, he smiled, passing it back to me. I'm not sure I had enough food for him. Want to help hack? Sharon, do you have Modi? I don't think she does. So I trust Sharon, okay? Just like I trust Dolores and Etienne. Vadik, want to help us hack into a space program? You're a little slow on the uptake, mate, Sharon laughed, looking at me. Stop wasting time, Dolores said. There are Russian servers we have to hack. That's why we're here, Sharon told me. We've already done it. What? Dolores asked, startled. To be fair, I had help, Vadik nodded at me and Crank. After breaking out of prison, I found Sharon's details on your tablet and she told me what you needed from me. So I broke into the data center while Sharon distracted the guards. My eyes widened. All that happened within the span of a day? Well, where's the data? It's on your tablet, translation and all, Vadik explained, pointing at it as he pulled a cell phone out of his pocket. It should have finished uploading by now. I pulled out my tablet and noticed the icon that reads, The Secret Stuff. I clicked on the icon to open it, hoping desperately that it was compatible with my old tablet. It was. Good. It opened, but it was only a sound file. No matter, it was the astronauts' words that mattered surely. Of course it would be in Italian, so I switched on the translation program Vadik had prepared. The astronaut's voice was as clear as if he was speaking to me on the telephone. His terror was palpable. Where are you? What happened? This is Luca. Please tell me I'm not blind. No, I'm not. I can see everything. Too much. What's happening to me? Oh, save me from this fate. Is anyone else seeing this? You have to see this. I understand now. Everything we thought we knew is wrong. Hello? Hello? Anyone? Oh no. What the fuck? What happened? I played it again, and then a third time I checked the translation manually. We were right. The recording was absolutely crucial, but I still had no idea what it meant. Luca's final words echoed in my head. Everything we thought we knew is wrong. God, what had happened out there? Really though, what had? What did Luca see when the sun went out? Why did he sound so afraid? Arc 11 completed. Oh my god. You and 22% of players helped Vadik break out of prison in Russia. Really? You could have just left him there? Alright, begin Arc 12. Dolores watched me expectantly holding out her hand. Everything we know is wrong, I paraphrased, passing her my tablet numbly. Dagger and Crank huddled behind her to watch the recording as subtitles. I stepped aside to where Sharon and Vadik were. "You're sure this is legitimate and correct?" I asked Vadik. He crossed his arms in disgust. "I am never wrong, right, Shaza?" He nudged Sharon. I looked at her, noticing how she wouldn't directly look at him. "He's the best," she reassured me. "Now, if I could borrow Modi." "So you really don't have it," I sighed, my heart sinking. As much as I didn't want to believe it of Sharon, it would make my life easier if Modi was simply borrowed by Sharon. "What do you mean, I don't have it? Where is it?" she asked, confused. "Missing since we landed," I answered. "The China team are also suspects." "How?" Sharon asked, then answered her own question. "You were sleeping. You basically passed out until we got here." "As an added kick, the jet's been compromised," I muttered, pointing behind me. "It won't take off, which means we can't go to China to find Modi." "It would make sense if Modi's in China," Sharon said before looking around. "And someone sabotaged the jet." I wondered if Sharon suspected the Satin and the Aetherites too. "I could track up a Modicon for you," Vadik interrupted, sliding between Sharon and I. "I can track anything." "Anything we can do to get ahead." Vadik grinned and winked at Sharon. He stepped away, pulling his phone out and started typing. "I didn't give him any details," I muttered to Sharon. "He doesn't need any." She rolled her eyes. When Sharon and I were alone, I smiled at her. "Glad you're back," I said, eyeing Dolores and her lackeys through the cockpit doors. I was starting to feel outnumbered. "Don't thank me yet," Sharon sighed. "I tried to get Vadik to stay where he was, but he wanted to tag along." "You don't think he'll be useful?" I asked, moving my gaze to him. "You said he was the best." "He also has a great knack for getting me and others in trouble." She swayed on her feet, looking around. "I haven't seen him in years." "Why not?" I asked, tilting my head. He was perfectly her type." "He's ancient history," she said. "Listen, don't tell him about Chrissy, alright? He doesn't need to know." I frowned. "Alright, I won't. Hey, Sharon, I won't do it. Don't you worry." "What's your next move?" she asked, apparently eager to move the conversation on. Modi's my priority, bro." Sharon nodded and crossed her arms. "Who do you think has Modi?" she asked, looking at Dagger and Crank again. "Apart from me, of course." "You know why I thought of you," I reasoned. "You'd do anything for Chrissy." "Yeah, which is why I want it back as much as you," she said and raised an eyebrow. I rubbed my forehead and thought it over. "They thought Satin is the obvious choice for who disabled the jet, since she's the only one capable of it," I muttered. "I don't know why she'd want Modi, though." "They, as in the diabolical trio over there?" she asked, making squinty eyes at Dagger, Crank, and Dolores. "Yes. Why?" "It's no big deal. I just don't trust them, that's all," she shrugged. "Why else would I have taken off without talking to you first? That Dolores character is a real gala." "I still don't know what that is," Vadik laughed as he walked over to us, making eyes at Sharon. "Well, no, you never did come to Australia to find out," she retorted with an edge in her voice. Vadik winced. So you think Dolores has Modi?" I interrupted uncomfortably. "I think she's a definite suspect in all, is all," Sharon nodded. "I don't want to discount anyone at this point." "Strangely, I have no luck tracking your Modicon," Vadik admitted. "Whoever has it is adept at keeping it dark, or has simply destroyed it." I swallowed. That didn't sound good. Dolores joined us, Crank and Dagger flanking her. "We have to move fast," she said, handing back the tablet. "I don't care how good the Russian is. She shot a look at Vadik. If we hacked into their servers, they know. We need to move. Vadik squared his shoulders. I was careful, and there's only one hacker better than me, he said proudly. They have no idea their servers were breached. Really? Dolores drawled, fixing her laser stare at him. Who's the better hacker? I'd rather have them. Vadik narrowed his eyes in indignation, turning and taking Sharon's arm. Come, let's leave. We don't need to be treated like this. You're not special. She treats everyone the same, Sharon muttered, shaking him off. What do you need from us, Dolores? We need to validate our authenticity of this recording, as well as download any notes the Russian government has on this recording, she reeled off. We'll start tomorrow morning, I cut Sharon off when she opened her mouth to respond. Dolores nodded. You could sleep in the house. I've prepared extra bedrooms. How many do you need? She asked, eyeing Vadik and Sharon. Don't put yourself out. We'll sleep in the jet. Alright, Dolores' mother. We've got more work to do. When you're ready to leave in the morning, Crank will drive you. She turned to walk away, the others trailing after her. Why did you tell her that? Sharon muttered, watching them go. I thought we were going to find Modi. We are, and I don't need them trailing me while I do it, I whispered back. Go get some sleep. We'll leave before dawn. She nodded and took Vadim's arm, dragging him away. He looked pleased with himself, and I didn't like it. Fuck! Now there's competition! I went back to get my bag from the car and sat outside. I looked for my notes from Dolores while the sun was setting. Ironically, Modi would have been better at finding themselves than I was. I was no closer than I had been when we landed. I wrote out all the suspected thieves again and stared at the names one by one. I started with Sharon's name. Now that she was back with us, her motive for stealing Modi was gone. She had only wanted Modi to contact Chrissy, nothing else. I tried to call Etienne again to see if he knew anything, but it was no good. I couldn't seem to reach anyone in China. You look troubled, friend, came a voice, and I looked up to see Petrus. He sat next to me, and I could see a bruise on his left cheek. Oh, God. Do you have my Modicon? I'm gonna ask him straight up. Your Modicon, he asked, bemused. Why would I have a need of that? I guess you don't, I sighed, looking down at my list again. What happened, he asked. Modi has gone missing, I said, leaning back against the brick wall I was sitting against. I'm trying to figure out who took it. Petrus frowned and angled his head to read my list. We're all suspects, even those in China? Haven't seen Modi since we dropped off the first team, I nodded. I fell asleep without looking for Modi. The large fellow Crank said that the plane was also tampered with, Petrus said. Surely someone on the China team couldn't have done that. Unless they're working with someone here, I said, thinking of Satin. I just can't see another motive for anyone to disable the jet. Maybe to make sure we don't leave without them, Petrus mused, staring up at the sky. Why would anyone think we'd leave without them, I asked, thinking. I didn't consider that. I should have asked Petrus earlier. His mind worked fast, and he was all about collaboration. Considering how unstable Russia is, everyone's on edge. Maybe that's why, he inclined, tapping his lip. The more I think about it, the more I think Modi and the jet are unrelated. If that's right, then all we have to do is wait for them to return. I guess we just wait for them to return then. Petrus pursed his lips. Let's investigate the jet in any case, he just decreed, standing up. Maybe there's a clue, Modicon related or not. I sighed and nodded. I wasn't tired yet, so I might as well do something useful. The door was still open, so we climbed the stairs and stepped into the cabin. The only steady light came from the cockpit. All the other lights on the plane were flickering on and off, almost in rhythm. I poked my head into the cockpit to find Dagger under the plane's console. Where are Sharon and Vadik? I asked, looking for them. You think they can sleep with these flickering lights? She asked sarcastically. I sent them to the house. Dagger had rigged a work light up on the desk, and I noticed the cockpit lights were flickering too. The steady light I had seen earlier was from the rigged up work light. What's wrong with them? I asked. They're all in tune with each other, Peaches noted, glancing down at the cabin. Could it be a power surge? Evening, Peaches. Nice of you to join us, Dagger called sarcastically. It's not the power source. That was one of the first things I tried. It's not the fuel lines either. I wanted to check that before we blew up. Your conclusion then? He asked while looking around with interest and bemusement. Electrical, she grunted. Something in the wiring, I think, but I haven't found it yet. Could the company do this? Which of us have the technical knowledge to do this? Satin. As far as I know, myself, Satin, Miss Montague, and maybe that Wong guy, she said, sliding out from under the desk. For the first time, she nodded at Peaches, who smiled back politely. And any of them could have done this? I asked, squatting to look at the mess of cables she'd been tangled in. How? No idea, she shrugged. A total lockout, that's easy to do remotely, but this turning on, turning off, closing doors thing, I've not seen it before. Could it be a malfunction? Peaches asked, handing her the tool she was pointing to. At the timing is just a coincidence? I don't think so. No, I mean if someone were to remotely trigger the lockout device, he clarified. Could that device itself malfunction and cause this? She paused. I hadn't thought of that, she muttered. I don't see how, but that's the best explanation I've heard so far. Will you let me know if you find anything? I asked as she returned under the console. I'll report to Miss Montague, she said. If she thinks it's worth your time, she'll tell you. Peaches gave me a look and we left quickly, leaving her to it. That was an obtuse answer, Peaches noted, walking with me back to the house. One I'm familiar with, they're very loyal. They like keeping me in the dark. I can't rock the boat that way. Rock the boat? No, rock the boat, baby, rock the boat. Peaches gave me a piercing look and I shrugged. I guess we'll know when we know, I dismissed. If it's the company, then we'll probably just have to override the lockout device and we'll be on our way. If it's not, he asked, raising an eyebrow, then it'll probably mean sabotage, and if there's dirty work, Dolores will have us do it. I thought our friend in the jet handled all the dirty work, Peaches said, glancing behind him. We could still see the flickering light in the cockpit. They have dirtier work to do, usually, I admitted, yawning. Peaches clapped my shoulder with a knowing look and opened the front door in the same motion. Get some sleep, he advised, leading me in. I think I'll need some too. Let me know if you need any assistance in the morning. I thanked him and we parted ways down the corridor. Dolores had helpfully left notes tackled to the wall that told us which bedrooms we were assigned to. Mine was on the second floor and it had a balcony. I scoffed at the opulence of it all, but was grateful all the same. For the first time in what seemed like ages, I set my own alarm on the old clock beside the bed. I missed Modi keenly. Damn it. Sharon woke me the next morning. I set an alarm for nothing. I thought you said we were leaving early, she asked, annoyed. I did, that hasn't changed. Why, what time is it? Sharon hauled the curtains back to show daylight. I groaned. It was already after dawn. Can't you wake up on your own, she muttered. I slid out, grabbed my bag, and headed for the bathroom. I set the alarm. I don't know why it didn't go off, I called through the closed door. There was silence for a moment, and then Sharon snorted. You set it to PM, but sure, that's fine too, she called back. I'll wait outside. We could take the car Vadik stole. What's the deal there anyways? I said quickly before she could leave. I hadn't had a chance to ask her. I mean, I've met your boyfriends before, but he's different, she agreed. I was with him longer than anyone. I ended it badly. That's it. Of course you ended it, I said, laughing. All the men love some Sharon, or so I've seen. Sharon's face was pale when I emerged from the bathroom. I stopped instantly, regretting my choice of words. I'm sorry. He went to jail, she interrupted, and I was pregnant with Chrissy. I had to settle down and stop with the crazy stuff. Oh. Oh. I swallowed and nodded as she turned to leave. Outside, Vadik was already in the car. He was in the passenger seat, forcing me into the back seat, which was fine with me. I remembered how you liked to drive, he said, smiling at Sharon as she climbed in the driver's seat. She ignored him. Where to? Hold on. Let me go get Peaches, bro. He said he wanted to join. I jumped out and quickly ducked back inside looking for Peaches, who was in the kitchen. He frowned as I explained what we were doing and why we didn't want Crank with us. Why are you telling me this then? He asked, tilting his head. Of everyone, I think you're the most honest, I said, rolling my shoulders. I trust you. Yeah, I trust Peaches. In that case, I should stay here, he nodded, picking up his fork again. I'll be your eyes here while you're out there. Smart. I thanked him and returned to car, letting Sharon and Vadik know what Peaches had said. I like him, Sharon approved, revving down the driveway. Where do you think we should look, or who we should look for? I pondered it over. Satin and Farrow would be together, I'm assuming, I muttered, reading from my list, and Satin had the experience to disable the jet. On the other hand, I'd like to try and contact Etienne and the China team to see if anything had gone wrong over there. Can you do anything about boosting our phone signals? Sharon asked Vadik, handing over hers. He looked at it curiously. Of course, have you forgotten what these fingers can do? He laughed and I winced. Whoa! Just do what you can, she sighed, ignoring the double meaning. Meantime, we find Satin and Fur. Oh God, Vadik. Oh God, Vadik. You're a deek. Yeah, though finding them is the issue, I nodded. Unlike you, they didn't leave a note. Call them, she suggested, or just head to Moscow and hope? I'm gonna call Satin, and I'm gonna call that the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and bye.